Hi everyone, this is Ryo Onishi, and this time I'm talking about this learning journey of the Business Foundations specialization at Coursera Plus, which I started subscribing just a month ago. And just yesterday, I finished the Wharton School's Business Foundations specialization, which is something that I'm really, really happy about because I've been working on this for almost 1 month. So in this video, I'm going to talk about how I went through this journey together with some of the thoughts and maybe tips or some advice for the future learners. So this is how the certificate looks like. So I have already finished 6 courses out of this specialization, which is the requirement. And this is my name. This is the Business Foundations specialization. And I'm really happy to say that this really enriched my understanding of the business foundations. And especially at the end of the capstone project, which I'll be talking about later, I was able to apply some of the knowledge that I have learned into this output project. So it really got me thinking about how I can really make my own business. Anyway, let's get started. So this foundations specialization by Wharton School is comprised of or is made of 6 courses. And each one of them is quite volumey, so it's got a lot of amount. It's quite informative, and I'm just saying that these are the 6 subjects here. And the first one is Introduction to Marketing, and these subjects are actually preceded by the phrase Introduction to. So Introduction to Marketing, Introduction to Financial Accounting. And then the third one was just this title, Managing Social and Human Capital, Corporate Finance. I think it was Introduction to Corporate Finance. And number 5 was Operations Management. And number 6 was Capstone Project. So if you learn these 6 basic subjects, you are kind of good to go about the business language, really basic business languages. So this really helped me reinforce my understanding about the business since I'm doing a lot of interpretation in business settings, including board of directors meeting or shareholders meeting. So this is really a helpful one. And if you are also planning to become an interpreter like me, or if you're planning to study the basic business, then this is definitely for you. So I'm going to actually explain each one of them. But I think maybe before I start, it's worth mentioning that when the Coursera Plus or Coursera says it would take 2 months to 6 months to finish this specialization, which is made up of several courses, like 6 courses, it's not exactly true. Like it doesn't really have to take you 6 months to complete these 6 courses because you do have different learning speed. So some of you do learn much faster. Some of you do learn much slower than I do. And I think it really depends on the availability of your time. I'm a conference interpreter and I'm a freelancer, so I can take a lot of free time out of my schedule. So maybe I was able to finish a little earlier. But anyway, let's start from the first subject. So this is the introduction to marketing. And this is what I'm writing after I got the first certificate from this course. And I just said that this is the introduction to marketing. And compared to my previous experience about mini MBA kind of stuff, this introduction marketing was already informative and it has a lot of tons of work to do. So maybe mini MBA itself as an entirety is almost equivalent to the workload for this particular one course, Introduction to Marketing. So it's got a lot of work, a lot of videos that you have to watch, and it's got some multiple choice questions that you have to answer. And there are some small questions that you have to answer in the middle of the videos. So there are, I don't know, a series of videos. Some of them are like less than 10 minutes long. Some of them are more than 10 minutes long or 15 minutes or so. It really does depend on the contents that they're dealing with. But then some of those videos will have a suspension in the middle of the video. I mean, it stops in the middle of the video and it asks you some questions to really check your understanding about the contents. So, and then I say here there are many videos, so I can't really finish it within a day, or so you have to really keep your sustainable pace. Otherwise, you will be out of breath in a sense. And then the final exam for this particular course was the quiz of 40 questions, multiple choice, and then you have to get 70% in order to pass this. And if I pass this course, then I will be left with the rest of the five courses, right? So I think Introduction to Marketing was quite fun to learn. So you are able to basically learn the basics of marketing and starting with the very basic question of what is marketing and how does it really help, or how do we think about the marketing. So these are quite basic, I think, but it really is a good refresher for some of the people who have experience about marketing. The second one is financial accounting. I think this was one of the most difficult subjects out of this specialization. So I'm just writing this that every week, or I mean every module, you have to finish the quiz, and then I can't really pass this easily. In the really worst case scenario, I think I couldn't really finish up well. So I said that yesterday I failed 3 times. And then I'm trying this with at the fourth time this morning, and I passed it. So that was a passing grade, 80%. And I think I had some 10 questions or so. So it was not really easy. And some of the questions do change if you retry these questions. So you can't really 100% like memorize like, hey, answer question number one. The answer is always B or C. You can't really memorize this. Some of the questions do appear many times, but they're kind of shuffled. So they have maybe a pool of those questions, and they're kind of automatically shuffled together, I think. And then once again, we dealt with cash flow statement, and it was really difficult. Like what counts in the cash flow, what counts out, and what is really included in the calculation of cash flow? For example, do we consider depreciation as cash flow or not? Blah, blah, blah. I didn't understand quite well about the cash flow. Like, although I did understand that the cash flow is about the flow of cash, of course, but if I was asked about the details or the essential understanding of those cash flow statement, uh, in addition to the balance sheet and profit and loss statement, I wasn't really good at that. So that's why in the financial accounting, I did a lot of failures. I made a lot of failures, but and in the end, I passed it and I got this certificate here. But then I think I said I have failed more than 10 times before I finally passed this. So financial accounting, I think, is a kind of a stopper for you before you actually can continue and go to the third subject. But a third subject, I think it was quite easy and fun to learn. It was about managing social and human capital. And it's basically about how to make a better decision, or what are the kind of factors that would distract you from making decisions in the right manner, or how do we motivate people, and those kind of organizational behavior, and a little bit of social capital and human capital, human resource management, and stuff like that are included or packed in this course, which was really interesting, and I was able to really finish this quite quickly. I think I finished this just 1 day or 2 days, because look at this. I got the second certificate on the 28th of June. And the 29th of June, I got the third certificate. So I think it took only 1 day or so for me to finish this. Maybe I had a bunch of time. It was maybe holiday. It was maybe weekends, but I was able to spend more time on this. And usually I listen to the lectures when I'm walking in the morning, or when I'm taking a train, and I'm listening to those lectures. And then the fourth subject is actually the corporate finance. And this is another difficult subject that I had to deal with. And I think I finished this one on the 1st of July. And I still remember that these questions dealt with calculating the net present value or internal rate of return. We had about 10 questions in total. and we had to do all the calculations, and you were able to use your calculator on your smartphone, so that's kind of easier, but you had to understand how to calculate these, and sometimes the situation and the scenarios could be different, so it was not easy, but not as hard as the financial accounting. I think it was one of the hardest ones, I think. And compared to that, I think corporate finance was still kind of better than that. I think these two things, NPV and IRR, are very important, and you have to use your calculator to really do a lot of calculations. But once you get used to it, I think it will be much easier for you to think about this, and it can also help you understand how to do your personal finance as well. For example, I started thinking about, hey, if I pay a tuition fee for university in this way, then what is the net present value or discount cash flow that I have to think about paying right now, or what is the value of the money that I have in 5 years and in 10 years and stuff like that. So that's a really good way of understanding the corporate finance. So it did help me think in ways that are different from what I used to. So the fifth subject was operations management. I thought operations management was all about quality management, quality control, and all this stuff, which will just require me to listen to the lectures, and that's it. But I was wrong. There are a lot of calculations involved in this, and there are much more calculations involved in this fifth subject, operations management. For example, I had to memorize, or at least be able to refer to the formulas that are dealt with in the course. For example, what's the cycle time, what's the takt time, what's the bottleneck, what's the flow rate, what's the operating efficiency, what is the OEE, and all this stuff. We did have a lot of formulas to deal with, but then once you understand how to use them and where to use them correctly, you are good to go. And so this one was really about understanding the formulas and knowing where to use what. But I think it is, in a sense, really interesting and, in a sense, really fresh for me to do a little bit more calculation. I'm not really good at mathematics, but it's a good exercise. All the more because you don't do calculation so much when you are working as an interpreter. Okay, but at the same time, I felt kind of intrigued or interested in knowing that in the world of operations management, there are a lot of Japanese words used. For example, pokayoke, bakayoke, jidoka, heijunka, or Toyota production system, or Mr. Ono, Kanban. These are all the terms that we all Japanese people know. But once they're expressed or explained in English, it sounds kind of interesting. And some of them could be a little bit different from what we assume these word terms are supposed to mean, but it's not too much a problem. Anyway, operations management, that was really good mathematical or arithmetic kind of exercise. So be ready to have your calculator with you because you'll be using it a lot. Okay, so that was the fifth subject, operations management. And the final one was about capstone projects. So whenever we have this kind of business related courses, they all finish with capstone, capstone, capstone. So what is capstone? It's basically about the summarization or aggregation of all the things that you have learned already in this specialization. So you're not really learning anything new in this capstone project. So in this capstone project, what you were asked to do is to really choose one out of the three projects, and you have to do your analysis about the business opportunity. And then you have to do your marketing positioning and a financial plan or operations plan or evaluation and all the other stuff. You have to also describe the opportunity of the business. So the first choice and second choice out of the three are about the businesses that are already out there. These are existing businesses. So I just forget the names and I didn't choose these two. I just chose my own business. But the first two business cases have a lot of information to search on, and you can just go ahead and read online materials, online articles, or all these information up there to do your analysis of the opportunity. But I actually opted for the third path, which is to really analyze your own business opportunity. So as I do online teaching for Japanese English interpreter training, So I have selected this business or teaching business as the capstone project, which turned out to be really great because actually these are the slides that I have already created, and I think they amounted to 30 pages in total. So I just started out with the explanation of my own ISD or interpretation study group business description and overall description. And I also stated that there are some market opportunities or business opportunities because of the fact that not so many active interpreters like me are teaching online to future would-be interpreters. And I also did the SWOT analysis, explaining all, opportunity, threat, or strength and weaknesses. I also went to the external market analysis, internal market analysis. I also did my marketing plan. And I also did the targeting, segmenting, and positioning, as well as a financial plan. I think financial plan was really interesting for me to look at the numbers because I have never really looked at those numbers before. And as a result, it turned out that my teaching online business had the gross profit of 98%. 98%. This is like a kind of abnormal number or just a abnormally high number, which is kind of difficult to believe. But this is just one part of my business. I also do other kind of interpreting related businesses. So this is not everything, but it was worthwhile for me to do the calculation itself by myself and get the numbers. And on the annual basis, I get this much or that much. It was really interesting because I've never really tried to do this kind of calculation to get the numbers. So that was also worthwhile for me to do this. And then I also had to evaluate if this project or if this business is going to be successful, or how can we really evaluate whether this project is successful or not. For example, the number of students, the number of instructors in the future could be some of the indicators for me to see how successful this project or business could be. So that's the capstone project. And for this project, you had to have the peer review. So you also review your peers' work. I mean, I also saw the other peers who are learning somewhere in the world, and then I think I had to pick up 5 or 6 peers and their work and review them and give them scores like from 0, 1, 2, and 3 points. And then I think you had 8 questions, including was this presentation creative or not? Do you think this project is feasible or not? Like there are 8 questions like these. And then you are able to answer on the scale of 0 to 3. And if you think this is really great, just go ahead and then mark 3. And if you think it's not really worthwhile, then you just rate 0 or 1. And you had to basically get 30%, which means like on the scale of 0 to 3, you have to get at least 1 point for each of the 8 questions in order to pass this one. And I'm really happy to say that I got all the points 3 points for all the 8 questions. So I got 100% evaluation for this capstone project. Although I do think that my this business opportunity analysis is way premature. It's far from perfect, but I really am happy to see that the peer reviews worked well. So those are the slides I have created. So, and this is what I got just yesterday. And when I woke up this morning, I got an email from Coursera saying that I got this one. All the peer reviews have been completed, and now you have completed the capstone, which means that you have already completed this business foundation specialization, which started just, I think we started on this is the thought here. I started on the 19th of June, and I just completed this on the July 20th. 12th, sorry. So it took less than a month, a little over 3 weeks, I think. Yeah. So I just said that for each subject, there are different range of difficulty. For example, marketing was fun to learn. Financial accounting was tough because I had to memorize a lot of journalizing details and cases. Social and human capital, this was also fun, and it was quick. Corporate finance was, again, the fight with numbers. And operations management was also about fighting with numbers unexpectedly. And the capstone project was fun. It was fun to create my business opportunity presentation. I've never done this before, so that was a great experience. Like when you are forced to do this, you feel you have to do this. And then when you get a certificate, it also gives you the kind of motivation to go forward. So I think for this reason, Coursera's online learning is a a good way for us to really boost and continue learning, not just starting to learn and stopping somewhere in between. You can actually complete these 6 courses, as I have also demonstrated, and it feels much better to be able to say that I have gotten a certificate from Wharton School, University of Pennsylvania, than just saying that I'm going to an MBA in Japan. When I talked to one of the non-Japanese director in one of the companies I work with, he said, "Wow, Wharton School, that's great." But when I talked about the MBA course that I dropped out, that's a school in Japan, he said, "Oh, okay, I know that school, okay." But the reaction was totally different. So even though this is not really this is not really full credit, the name Wharton School really gave me a kind of good reaction from the non-Japanese director. So in that sense, I'm having a really good experience. And I just started this Coursera Plus, which is the annual subscription course or program, and I can get this subscription benefit up until the 19th of June, which is exactly 1 year from the start of this subscription. And considering that I have finished this one specialization within 1 month, I think I can do more and complete some more specializations before 1 year reaches. So I think that's my takeaway about this course. And if you're interested in the business foundations, this is exactly what you need to be taking. And especially there are some really hard, difficult, and detailed operations in terms of the financial accounting and operations management. But just do it your own way. Like, don't try to do it too fast. Take a breath. Maybe it could be a baby step, but you can just try one day, one at a time, and then improve day after day. You don't have to really proceed like I do, or maybe you can proceed much faster than I do, but you don't have to do it too quickly. Because sustainability is the most important thing in this kind of online learning. So that's my take. And if you have also taken the Wharton School's Business Foundations course, please let me know what you think about this. And I'm really happy to have any comments or reactions about this course. Thank you. Thank you very much for watching this video.